a dying patient.
And then we had to decide to take the action in a way. That was really hard. That was hard. And then we had to decide to take the action in a way. That was really hard. That was hard.
This is what it looks like when you breathe 40 times a minute, have an oxygen level that's dipping well below 80. This is what it's gonna look like. I hope that the last moments of your life don't look like this. Because this is what you'll see at the end of your life if we don't start wearing masks when we're out in public, when we don't practice social distancing, when we don't wash our hands frequently. Because I promise you, this will be what you see. I promise you, this is what your mother or your father or your children, when they get COVID disease, will see at the end of their life. This is serious.
Y'all, this shit is for real, y'all.
I beg you,
for real.
Please practice the precautions to reduce
y'all.
transmission of COVID disease so that we can
Family,
effectively
y'all take it serious.
prevent disease for you
Y'all take this thing
and your
real
loved
serious,
ones.
y'all. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is real. This is right here in Brooklyn. This is right at Brooklyn Hospital. Y'all, this is for real. They putting the bodies in 18-wheeler, y'all.
All right, what is happening, good people? Welcome to the big show, Monday Madness. I'm your host, Jeff C. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. Is it possible these days? I don't know. I didn't have a great weekend, to be honest with you. I've been dealing with a migraine. A lot of people probably know that. It's not fun. And I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm a little bit off today. I'm not 100%. In fact, I went to go and make my dinner before. Make my dinner. It was like stick something in the microwave because I was preparing for the show all afternoon, sort of thing. And I put the bowl of soup into the bread box. And then I just looked at it and I said, yeah, that's not going to work. So yeah, I'm going to do my best. I have a lot to talk about, a lot to go through. So much going on. And it's a very stressful time for all of humanity, I think. Maybe outside of Bill Gates' inner circle, most of us are watching our entire world just fall apart. Basically, the Great Reset is happening, and the Great Reset is not for our benefit. Do I have to? Do I have to explain to you what it means to have no privacy, to have no, freedom, to be watched, everything that you do, to have your thoughts recorded, your dreams recorded, to have no possessions, no privacy, no private property, no freedom to move about, and checkpoints and police state everywhere. I mean, who likes that? Put up your hand. Who likes that future? I want to know who likes it, because there are people maybe that are above all of this and they'll never have to deal with what we'll have to deal with. But who likes that? Because you're going to have to look around at the people around you and say, do you like that? Because that's what they're doing. And they are doing it. They are doing it. And they're doing it double quick time. And it's pretty shocking how it's all unfolding. And yeah, it's pretty overwhelming sometimes to just try to process the speed in which all of this is happening, and try to just get your bearings, and then at the same time, you see the theatrics and the fear that they push everywhere. So much fear being pushed. It's fear that the media uses. The media, the government, the corporations it's all one fascist monstrosity, basically. It's all one. The media does not serve you. The governments, oh my God, if you think your governments serve you, I don't know what to do for you. But they do serve Bill Gates and co. And what they have in plan for us is they're going to squeeze us for everything we're worth. They're going to bankrupt, it seems like, most of the world, or most of the governments of the world. And then, of course, who's going to pay for it all? Well, you know who's going to pay for it all. The same people that always pay for it all. And then they're going to tell you you're a bad person. You're a bad person because you want to see your dying relative for the last time before they leave this world. You're a bad person because you like to have family over for Thanksgiving. You're a bad person because you're not wearing a mask all the time. You're not wearing a muzzle. You know, you're a bad person. You're the cause. I've never seen such tyranny. I have never seen anything like this. And the people that tell you you have no idea what tyranny is, the people that tell you that are the tyrants, or they work for the tyrants. There's no question that this is tyranny. And it's very troubling how it's all unfolding. And everyone needs to be at a heightened alert and watching everything. Well, as much as you can, sort of thing. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's make sure first that I'm coming in clear here. We'll take a listen. Yeah, sounds good. All right, cool. Thank you. And just a reminder before I start the show, if you want to support the show, there's no ads, there's no, I don't have any t-shirts or coffee mugs or anything like that. But if you do want to support the show, my Patreon link's in the description, and that means the world to me. So that's the way that you can, say thank you for the work that I do and support the show to keep it going. And a huge thanks to all my patrons who are just wonderful. Much love to you, and thank you all for understanding why I missed Friday's show. I like to do shows if I'm not like I'm not gonna be like today. I'm not 100%, but if I'm not. Like, if I'm like 40%, I'm not going to do a show because it's not going to go well and I'm going to suffer more out of it, sort of thing. So I had to take that night off, sort of thing, unfortunately. But I'll make it up, as I always do. So anyways, let's get into it, folks. Let's take a look at what's going on. There's a lot going on, especially up here in Rainbow Unicorn Land. So we are going to spend a bit of time. It doesn't matter, though, right? It's like whether it's China, whether it's United States, Great Britain, Australia, Sweden, right? It doesn't matter where it is. Botswana, it doesn't matter what country you're in because we're all facing the same Great Reset. And so we all have to be acutely aware of how these things are being implemented in other parts of the world, because what goes up today in Uganda or, Australia or Belgium or Quebec, tomorrow it's going to be Mississippi or it's going to be, right, Georgia or something like that. So, all right, so let's get into it here. As you see, this is just the typical sort of games that are played by the beast media. The media is the enemy of the people. It's the enemy of the people. It's the only way to describe it, is the beast itself. So here's off the Montreal Gazette, which is Post Media. If you're listening to this and you're a Canadian and you are not aware of Post Media, you better go and start doing some research on who controls all your media. That's all I can say. Because you better think twice before you read one of their stories. So you see this viral photo appearing to show Quebecers rejecting COVID rules was previously used in the U.S. The gathering, which outraged many Quebecers, doesn't appear to have taken place in Quebec. Interesting, too. You got the girl making the V here, people giving fingers and whatnot. Now, they're admitting that the photo that was used is from somewhere else. But this is the type of story that gets used. And it's like, the old saying, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth is even uttered. That's the media. The media is just lies. It's just lies. It's just manipulation, fear, and lies. And it goes around the world. And then maybe a few days later they have to retract something, but nobody hears about the retraction. The effect has already been well established, right? And the people have been outraged or angered. And the type of comments that come up on typical, I just see evil all the time. Like, I see evil people, or evil. Yeah, I see evil people. I mean, you don't see necessarily the people in the comment sections, but you see whether it's the mentality or it's just the deception itself. these people need to be locked up, these people need to be hung, these people need this, that, whatever, right? Americans are the stupidest people ever, things like that. It goes around the world like this. And this is just media manipulation 101. So what I wanted to start with was the doctors warn sort of thing, nurses warn, health practitioners warn. They've been having this type of rhetoric coming out from the nurses and doctors. Nurses and doctors in quotation marks. Please don't think that I'm stupid enough to believe that each one of these people is actually a nurse or a doctor. Some of them are bona fide crisis actors. But they don't exist, of course. You know that, right? There's no such thing as crisis actors. The media never employs actors to carry out roles in order to manipulate the people, right? They would never do that because they're not evil at all, are they? Nah, they're trustworthy. Yeah, you can trust the most trusted name in news. Yeah, you can trust your media. But you see all these stories dealing with doctors. Keep your guard up. This hideous creature here from Toronto, we'll show you in a second. You got the guy that I showed in the intro there. What? Dr. Ken Remy. I mean, I swear to God. I pray to God that you get exactly what you deserve. I pray to God that you get exactly what you deserve. That's what I pray for. And that's all I can say, right? What else can you say in this day and age? You just want to see these people get the full karma, the full karma that they so richly deserve. This thing with her face here, Toronto's top doctor warns. Now, there's interesting things, and we'll get into the PCR test and how they've been rejected in some nations and stuff like that. But, of course, they show you the numbers. Then they tell you the dead. Now, we know that the hospitals are betraying all of humanity. Yeah, the hospitals are betraying humanity. What? Hospitals are good places? They care about everybody? No, they're selling out humanity because they're getting the ka-ching to be able to rubber stamp the COVID deaths. Most of these people that are allegedly dying are much older. Most of them have umpteen different complications and probably would have died anyways. And probably just have normal flu. But they are taking away all your rights. And it's not like they did it for 2 weeks, right? They've done it now for almost a year. And they're going to tell you that it's going to go on for years to come. And of course, Bill Gates is predicting the next big one to come in 3 years. It's unbelievable. Doctor warns. We'll put in nurse warns. Same thing. Nurses warns of hospital stresses. Right? And you get these nurses and doctors coming forward. ICU nurse warns people to take coronavirus seriously. Stop thinking this is just like the flu. It isn't. You get these characters coming forward. And it's like, no offense. Like, just first and foremost, you're a nurse, so shut the F up. No offense. Take care, do your job, shut the F up. But, right, they want you to adhere to their medical tyranny. They want you to believe. They want you to trust these people because science is real. Love is love. Women's rights are human rights, right? And of course, science is real. You have to believe in science. There's science, and then there's crazy people. There's science, and then there's conspiracy theorists. You have to make the right choice. Don't go with the red team, go with the blue team. Or if you go with the red team, make sure you go with the right red team, the MAGA team, right? The whole thing, science is real, is the most nonsensical statement in the history of the world because that doesn't mean anything. What does that mean, science is real? Well, they want you to say, I'm dumb, so I'm going to put my trust in Big Pharma. I'm going to put my trust in Dr. Anthony Fauci, my blind trust. Dr. Deborah Birx. How about Dr. Theresa Tam? Oh, you better wake your ass up. So they want you to blindly submit to medical tyranny, to Big Pharma, to their Great Reset. They don't want you to question anything. This is a video that I was working on. I actually came down with my migraine because I'm so it's so emotional. The video I have coming, a music video, is going to be extremely powerful and gut-wrenching. And it's on this, the children of the Great Reset. So I'm almost finished it, but it's been a difficult ordeal to get through it because I get very emotional when I see how horrible this is for the kids. Because it's one thing for all of us to go through this. Most of us, our personalities are developed, right? We've gone through, we're not dealing with all the stuff that we're dealing with when you're growing into your body. A lot of children haven't even developed their personality. Most personalities are developed between the ages of 9 and 11 or 9 and 12-ish, right? And then you think about the toddlers, you think about the babies, first the babies with the being born and you know, in the arms of a mother with a mask on. I don't know how much more evil it can get. Well, it gets more evil when they actually take the baby away from the mother, stick a frickin' mask over it, and isolate it in a pod. It's about as evil. It's only the most evil plot in the history of the world. That's all. It's only that. So for me, it's gut-wrenching to see what's happening to the kids, all of them, and the teens as well, not just the young ones, not just the younglings. So that video will probably be up tomorrow. I'm going to try and finish it off. Here's another example, just everywhere. Long Island parent, one of my patrons, posted this on the community tab. Just this type of programming, right? It's just so evil. It is what it is. Now, let's get into the Great Reset here, because there are politicians within the Canadian Parliament who are coming forth and calling out the Liberal Party for the Great Reset. Now, Trudeau himself, and I showed this in videos that I've uploaded months back, came out and said, this is the perfect time for a reset, a proper reset of the economy and everything, so that it serves all the people, sort of thing, right? So this is one of the ones that they've got here calling him out, which is Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre. And he has been playing this role within the government, pushing the conspiracy of the Great Reset. It's not a conspiracy, YouTube community. It's not a conspiracy at all. In fact, you try to explain to the penguinzos out there that powerful people run this world. You know what? It's like, yeah, the most powerful people in the world, the richest people in the world, they don't really care about what happens in the world. They're not trying to manipulate anything. They're not trying to benefit and use their wealth and income to alter society in their favor. No, they would never do that. They're nice people. That's it. Yeah, that's it. We're nice people. See, there is no Great Reset, even though it's all over their World Economic Forums, and they've got umpteen different documents and everything else on it, videos and conferences and good God knows what. It's all over the place, but it's a conspiracy theory according to the Canadian Brainwashing Corporation, who is pushing this. That is what it is. That's what the Canadian Brainwashing Corporation is. It is the Great Reset. It's your COVID-19 news. It's your Great Reset. That's what the media is your enemy. That's all. It's the enemy of humanity. They don't like humanity. They hate humanity, obviously, because they want to enslave us. I mean, I don't know what you would call it when the government is monitoring everything that you do, watching everywhere you go, and restricting your ability to move freely in society. I don't know what you call that. I call it tyranny. But they're going to say, no, it's going to keep you morally safer. Yeah. That's what it's going to do. It's going to keep you morally safer. Trust in the plan. Trust in the big government. Trust in the Great Reset. This is the Great Reset. This is what it is. It's not anything else. It is the Great Reset. It's nothing else. It is the Great Reset. That's what it is. So call it what it is. That's all I call it. You see the video I'm working on, I'm not calling it Children of the Pandemic, or children even of COVID-19 or anything like that. I'm calling it the children of the Great Reset, because that's what it is. So they try to dispel this conspiracy, quote unquote conspiracy here. And I would be suspect of these MPs, including Pierre Poilievre here, as being, you know, legit dudes, or that they're not compromised or controlled. But it is good, at least, that information is getting out, right? So we have to weigh how it's being. But look, I don't want to tell people there's no hope. Of course not. But most of your politicians are controlled by the New World Order. That's the reality. There's no way they would be able to do this if it was any other way. So, conservative finance critic Pierre Poilievre. Now, Pierre Poilievre is best known for coming out on the We scandal. Now, the We scandal could be a controlled sort of psyop scandal that they purposely leaked in order to establish a sort of meme and storyline and deflect people, or it could be legit. I don't really know. I didn't spend enough time looking into it. The We scandal, if you don't know, is the Kyle Berger brothers and the Turdo family, and the Turdo family got paid over $500,000 to do these appearances and speeches at these supposedly non-profit charity events. That is, and the Canadian government was going to give $1 billion contract, more or less $1 billion, to the Kyle Berger brothers for their New World Order, One World, We sort of a charity, and quote-unquote charity. I am the most skeptical person on planet Earth when it comes to charities. Just like when I hear nonprofit, as soon as I hear nonprofit, I say fuck you, basically. Take your nonprofit, shove it up your ass, because I know how the game works. But, yeah, pardon my French. Conservative finance critic Pierre Poilievre says building up the Canadian economy after the COVID-19 pandemic can't be achieved without massive overhaul of the tax system and the regulatory regime. So this is where it all comes in, because the Canadian government has created the greatest debt here in the world for any government since the whole thing started up. And going into trillions of dollars of debt for a country that's relatively small compared to, say, the United States or China or something like that. And so who's going to pay for this? And how, you know, what's going to happen eventually? Well, eventually Turdo's going to come forth and say, I'm taking action today because we are at, you know, a point where, you know, it can no longer go the way that it's going. And therefore, you know, we're just going to have to build back better and reset everything for everyone, starting with the minorities. And so the whole narrative out of this New World Order that, you know, going along with all the scamdemic is that the minorities are suffering. The minorities are getting racism. The white supremacists, quote unquote white supremacists, are doing all this stuff, and people are suffering from racism, and we need to build back better, and we have to build back for the minorities, and we have to hate white people. Obviously, white people are evil. You all know that, right? You know that our controllers tell us this all the time. White people are terrible. They're stupid. They're all these different things. Go ahead and say whatever you want about white people. Apply that to any other person, and you will be in prison. So I don't know. You know, if you can look up the definition of hypocrisy and see if it fits. But anyways, the massive overhaul of a tax system, as he knows you're already yawning as you read that. So listen to this. And he knows that you're already yawning as you read this. So don't pay attention to this guy. You're already bored by him. Don't listen to anything he's saying. But his party's parliamentary pit bull says, for all the pizzazz attached to the federal Liberals' pledge of building back better, the reality is that those ideas aren't sustainable if the country's underlying economic system isn't dramatically retooled. Isn't that interesting term, retooled? Who is the opposition leader of the Canadian government? Well, it's Peter O'Toole. Isn't that interesting? Retooled. O'Toole. If you think that this O'Toole character is on your side, you're an idiot. You're a bona fide grade A drooling F-tard moron. That's what you are. This guy, this O'Toole character is a frickin' joke and a half and 3/4. And he's doubling down. He's saying that the Liberals aren't moving out fast enough with their vaccination program. And he was asked about the Great Reset, and he says, I don't pay attention to social media. That was his answer. His answer was, I don't pay attention to social media. So you're going to be potentially the next Prime Minister of Canada, And you don't even know about the Great Reset. Yeah, was not born yesterday. We're so effed. We don't need subsidized corporate welfare schemes that rely on endless bailouts from the taxpayer, he said in an interview. This is Paul Revere. That will only indebt us further, and all the jobs they temporarily create will disappear when the taxpayer money runs out. Economic reset or globalist plot? Economic reset or globalist plot? Economic reset and globalist plot. See, you see how it's one or the other. Well, Bolivar said some conservative pundits have attracted criticism for advancing the idea that the liberals' post-pandemic strategy lurks as a nefarious desire to dramatically overhaul existing social and financial systems in a way designed to benefit elites. The accusation riffs off a speech from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave in the fall related to how global leaders could close gaps in society laid bare by the scandemic. The pandemic has provided an opportunity for a great reset. Yep, he said that, and I showed that. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic. These people need to be arrested, right? And then we need to find suitable punishment for them. I'm not going to say what that punishment is, but these people need to be arrested. If you're Canadian, these people have sold out your country. Your country has been sold out to the globalists. That's all. Good job. Way to go for voting Liberal. And not that if you voted for the Red Party, it would be any different. So this is our chance to accelerate I got to say it in his voice. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. See? Extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. Which, translates to totalitarianism, communism. A complete surveillance state. Taking money from people that actually work hard and squeezing the crap out of them and then spreading it out and then making everybody, of course, subservient to a centralized globalist system, a debt-based system in which, of course, you own nothing. You have no privacy. Your thoughts, your dreams, everything is recorded by the state, but you'll be happy. Yeah, that's what the World Economic Forum says. That's what Forbes magazine says. They put out all these articles about, the year is 2030. I own nothing. I have no private property. My thoughts and my dreams are recorded by the state. Everything I do is watched, but I've never been happier. Yeah, I've never been I got some Soylent Green that came, in a little cup that I used to crap in after. And I've got my recycled water from the Bill Gates toilet. So the Bill Gates toilet takes your poop and extracts the water from it so that you can drink it later. That's the Bill Gates toilet. That's not even a joke. Bill Gates made a toilet in which it recycles your poop and extracts the water from your poop so that you can drink it. Bill Gates wants you to drink your own poop in a planet that's covered in 2/3 water. People, like, I had a couple girls, they don't know anything, right? They're working for United Nations. They come to my door and they say, you know what, we got to save water, we have to ration, and they're trying to get me to sign on to some document. I said, do you know that Quebec has over 500,000 lakes and rivers? 500,000 lakes and rivers. Do you know how much fresh water there is in Quebec? You have any idea? And 95% of Quebec is uninhabited. If you think we're running out of water, you are an idiot. And if you're going to drink your own poop, well, congratulations and enjoy your new world order. That's all I can say. So Paul Revere says he has no regrets about framing Trudeau's plans in those terms. Tough questions ought to be asked if the Prime Minister, he said, for why he sees an opportunity in something as macabre as the pandemic. The scamdemic. Trudeau dismissed the idea as conspiracy theories, chalking it up to COVID-19 anxieties that the people are looking for someone to blame. All I could say is that I just want to see all you people get the justice that you so richly deserve. That's all I say. These people. Unbelievable. It could not, there's not anybody with a functioning brain that can't see that this is the Great Reset. That this is all planned out. But they're going to come and say, you're a conspiracy theorist because you think that somehow this is part of a plan. Yeah, it's like the globalists, with the most powerful people in the world would ever conspire to control which direction the world is going in the future. Yeah. You know what? You should just stab your brain, or, with a fork, or pull out the frickin', what is it? The mallet. Pull out the mallet and put on Penguin Zoo, and you can watch a grown-up 30-something-year-old collecting Pokemon cards, and then you'll be on the straight and narrow. Then you can listen to the Vlogbrothers. My word. The liberals have faced pressure to address many different problems raised by the pandemic, including dangerous conditions in long-term care homes, the exploitation of temporary foreign workers, and realities that many of those deemed essential workers during COVID-19, like grocery store staff, often toil at minimum wage, while companies they work for make massive profits. Well, that is what we call capitalism. They're not, these aren't frontline workers first and foremost. None of them are dying. None of them are really getting sick, other than the cold. So they're not frontline workers. I do feel sorry for all the grocery store workers for having to be muzzled all day. Yes, you have my sympathy for that, but you're not frontline workers, and you get paid what your skill level is, basically, because it should be a meritocracy. If we want communism, then go to Cuba, where the cab drivers get paid more than the doctors. You like that system? Does that make sense to you? Is that the system that you want? Where you go to school for 10 years, or you work your butt off, and the guy that just wants to sit at home and play video games all day gets paid as much as you. Because that's the system that they're going to bring in. And we saw how wonderful that worked in the Soviet Union. It just worked marvelously, didn't it? Oh, yeah, the whole collapsed. Oh, well, But here we go. So the pandemic has taught Canadians hard lessons about how the most vulnerable are treated. Lessons? See, they always do this, too. It's like they are destroying your money, your income, your job, your business, your way of life, your freedom, and all these things. And then they have the gall to come around and tell you, no, you don't have anything. You're not suffering. Look at these people. Look at the homeless people. Look at the minorities. They're the ones that are suffering. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you even complain? How dare you? How dare you try to get together with your family on Thanksgiving? How dare you decide to walk down the street without a muzzle on your face? How dare you? How dare you stand up to government tyranny? I think Canadians expect the government to respond. But Paul Revere said, from his point of view, too many hobby horses are getting attached to the pandemic. Liberals are becoming distracted by dream weaving about some utopia they'd like to create. No, that's a globalist coup d'etat, Mr. Paul Revere. And it's the furthest thing on the planet from utopia. It's utopia for a small group of extremely wealthy people who get to ha and laugh it up while we're all enslaved. And then we're all going to be turned into cyborgs and programmed into hide might and be a slave caste for the elites. That's exactly what they're going to do. There's no question about it. When pressed whether his party agrees on the problems, if not the solutions, Paul Revere says conservatives see things a different way. The Liberals talk about a reset while the Tories want to end the war on work. There are two major problems that come out of COVID-19. The massive unemployment that is destroying the revenues for our programs, the paychecks for our families, and the sense of purpose for our workers. The second is the astronomical levels of household government and corporate debt. Now, I agree with him on those things, but you have to call out the scamdemic, right? Because what the Tories are doing, and that's his party, the Conservatives, is they're saying that the Liberals aren't moving fast enough. They're saying that the Liberals need to get the vaccine out double quick time. that they would do a better job getting the vaccine out. So what party? I mean, if you're serving, and I think I said Peter O'Toole, it's Aaron O'Toole. But yeah, both can be tackled through robust private sector job creation, and that's impossible with the way that the tax system is structured. People can yawn all they want when the conservative mentions the tax system, but there is no doubt that when we have a tax system that punishes businesses and workers for producing when it becomes financially advantageous for everyone just to import cheaper goods from abroad. So he's saying fix the tax system first, and again, it's just a deflection. It's not like really. If Paul Revere was on your team, he'd be calling out this whole thing. He'd be saying it's all a scamdemic, but he's not. And he's just saying, yeah, they're part of some quasi-utopian sort of thing. And you know, he does mention the Great Reset, but he doesn't take it any further than that. So you see the Great Reset here, as Scruggle shows you in the news results. A Great Reset is coming, but not for capitalism. Yeah, whatever. Buy more stuff. Because they're going to say buy more stuff, but it's going to be online. Right? And they're going to convince you. And then it's a small group of oligarchs that are taking control of the whole distribution of all products and all, like Amazon, for instance. Jeffrey Bezos, the richest guy probably in the world right now. And he's made trillions. Bill Gates, all these guys have made trillions off this scamdemic. And so they're gobbling up all the other smaller businesses and swallowing them, basically, so that they become part of this massive New World Order. Dianne Francis, a Great Reset isn't the problem. The great rerun of stupid handouts is. So the Great Reset isn't the problem, according to Dianne Francis. That's Dianne Francis. Never forget who these people are. So it's not, no, the Toronto, that's the Financial Post. It doesn't matter. It's the same brand of toilet paper. So now, yeah, it's Great Reset. Nah, that's not a problem. Nah, it's all right. They're just doing all this to all of us. Pandemic, Great Reset, and Resistance, the World Economic Forum. There's Asia Times, so there's one out of Asia that looks like they might be showing something. That's the headline I just showed you. Great Reset reads like a globalist plot with some plot holes. What are the plot holes? Yeah, you're missing out all the elements of, well, many of the elements of what they're trying to accomplish. Global news. What's the deal with the Great Reset? Well, you're the globalists, so it's like they don't know. And then conservatives attack Trudeau's reset. And then Paul Revere is flirting with far right by pushing Great Reset conspiracy. Toronto Star. That is like the worst brand of toilet paper that is out there. If you're going to wipe your ass, I definitely do not recommend Toronto Star at all. I'd say go out in the backyard, rake up some leaves, and use that. Never use Toronto Star. It's the worst brand of toilet paper that has ever existed. Then you've got here Fury. Trudeau's economic statement is all about the Great Reset. Toronto Sun, which the sun is the red to the blue. The red, the blue, you know how it works, right? Trudeau, UN speech sparks Great Reset conspiracy. AFP fact check. So you just see, like, they are addressing it now because they're trying to contain it. They want to diffuse it. They don't want people to, oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. They want you to think, no, there's a terrible virus and we all have to give up all our rights. So let's move on then. What do we got here? Liberals to spend $100 billion to jolt post-pandemic economy after posting record $381 billion deficit. And so they're just throwing more and more of our money away. I've never seen anything like this in all of the history of Canada. This is by far the worst government, by far the most criminal government. And what are they doing? They're going to bankrupt the entire nation. And that's the plan, of course, because they have to say, oh, we're hopelessly in debt. We're just going to have this Great Reset now. We're just going to have to, and then they're going to start off, and there will be a debt relief, of course, which will come via the International Monetary Fund, in which people will be forgiven for not paying their rent or their bills or their mortgage or whatever. And then they'll say, you sign on to this. If you sign on to this agreement, we'll relieve all your debt. You will be able to live in your little box. And you'll get shipments of Soylent Green if you can't get food. Well, you won't be able to anyways. And and you won't own anything. You won't have any privacy. Your thoughts and dreams will be recorded. But you'll be happy. Yeah, that's for sure. You'll be happy. Yeah, you'll be happy. Yeah. Woo! Happy days. These happy days. Happy days are coming. So yeah. And then you got this. Check this out. Look at this. What country is this? Is it India? No, it's Rainbow Unicorn Land, of course. Ottawa signals plans to create Canada-wide child care system, collect digital sales taxes. More taxes. More taxes. And look at this. Look at this. They're doing the elbow bump. He's doing the fist, and she's giving the elbow. Now, she's from media. You know how these creatures come, right? These ghouls. She's the Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland. Interesting name, Freeland. And they're celebrating. They're happy. Now, when Turdo says we need to build back better, we have to make a system that works for everyone. This guy was born with a silver spoon up his vagina, all right? I mean, you're talking about some of the wealthiest people in Canada. Now, Justin Trudeau, in his first year in office, there was a big scandal that came out that he went on a private island of a billionaire. He took a vacation in which Canadian taxpayers, help pay for, because that's the way it works, with a billionaire on a private island. These people live in a different realm, and they have the gall to come out and say, we're going to destroy all your businesses so that we can build back for the minorities and for the people that don't work hard in society, right? That we have to destroy capitalism to bring in communism to save so that everybody has the same, basically, is what they're saying. So, yeah. And then the whole Canada-wide child care system, of course, is all about the state controlling your children. That you will know, and that's a fait accompli in many countries and has already been accelerated across the world, where governments are taking control of children completely from day one, sort of thing. And the vaccines are a great example of that, because the vaccines, you're not going to have any say over what Pfizer or AstraZeneca or GlaxoSmithKline or Johnson & Johnson or Bill Gates. You're not going to have any say about what goes in your kid's body and what goes into your own body. Because, no, we got this Kobe going around, and old people are dying. Old people are dying, and therefore we got to take away all your rights, and we got to enslave you all, muzzle you all, and watch you all, and barcode you all. Yeah, we got to quantum dot tattoo you all, because that's all that's coming. Yeah, it's all coming. Everything that we predict is coming. Everything that we've been showing is coming, because this is all their master plan. And it only gets worse as we go forward, because they'll never be satisfied. They'll never be satisfied. They're never going to be satisfied. These scumbags, they'll never be like, yeah, we got enough power. Let's take it easy. Yeah, no, they're going to just make it so that you can't even function. You won't even be able to think in the future, or you'll be dead. Anyways, so let's move on there. So conservatives attacked Trudeau for reset, put forth ideas of their own. So you see how that works, right? They're attacking him for the reset, but they're saying, we've got a better reset. See, Trudeau's reset is influenced by the new United Nations, but our reset is from our own. It's our own red brand. It's the red brand. Don't buy the blue brand. Buy the red brand. You see the guy with the red tie, of course? All right. And then we got here in Montreal, Stan, the Post media here. Coronavirus updates. November 30th. Canada should be ready to approve 2 vaccines in December. What? Now, I was kind of off, because I said 4 to 10 years for the average vaccine, but I was watching videos with AstraZeneca CEOs and stuff, and I was also watching that Slawi guy, whatever his name is. And they were saying typically vaccines take about 10 years to be approved. And it's like, wait a second. You're going to approve 2 vaccines within a couple weeks of them in their first so-called trials? And they've been developed just over the past few months? And somehow you're going to fast-track this and give it to every Canadian, and it's all going to work out great. Yeah, wonderful. All right. And then you go here. Well, we saw that one. The face of death has changed in the second wave, and this is just the typical garbage that they give you every day. They show you somebody, and he's a guy, and he's got a dog, and he died, and it's a tragedy. You better feel bad, and you better muzzle your children, and you better lockstep, and you better do what you're told, because if you don't, you're a bad person, right? And this is just he's 75 years old. Well, he lived to 70. That's pretty good for a man. That's like about average age, I think, for a man in Canada. So I don't think that's a story. In fact, I think that's zero story. Right? If you and a lot of these stories too are like 95 or 103-year-old Abe Finkelstein tragically died. Family mourns. Family can barely contain themselves. You know. Right? Tragedy hits family. 105-year-old dies. You know. I mean, it's like the stupidest thing ever. I mean, seriously, you live to 105. You've outlived 99.99% of people that have ever lived in the history of the world. So shut the F up. But it's, you know, it's not about facts and truths. Now check this out. Yes, you can be tracked if you travel in Quebec. What? Since when does the government have the right to track its citizens? Well, according to MTL blog here, the question is what governments can do with this information from cell phone companies. Of course, it is the cell phone companies, and it's your smartphone that is spying on you. It's your surveillance device. Let's just call it what it is. Your smartphone is your surveillance device. If you think of it as a smartphone, you're a stupid idiot. Well, in fact, it's partially true because it's a lot smarter than you are. But if you don't realize that it's a surveillance device, that is your surveillance device, you are a grade A moron. That's all. And if that means 95% of people are grade A morons, so be it. Because if you can't wake up and smell the Bill Gates, if you can't wake up and smell the Melinda, right? If you can't see how evil this is, you're a horrible person. You're not just a bad person. You're a horrible person because you're going to help this. And I can't even, like, I'm trying to envision what it's going to be like in 5 years, and I can't. Because I'll severely underestimate how bad it will be if it continues on the pace that it's happening. So let's just take a look at this. Being tracked in real time at all times. Might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but in Quebec, you can be tracked if you travel. So just this article here. I have to take the ads off here. In Quebec, Quebec police can use your phone to track you if you're not in isolation. So this is the Sûreté de Quebec. So this is like the provincial police. And they, outside of Montreal, they're the police, basically. The state police, if you will. And so now they can track everyone. So now they're tracking everyone. Who gave them the right? How many of our constitutional rights are these governments and police stations and police squads violating? This is out of this world, what's going on. So this isn't just some dystopian conspiracy theory. Nah, conspiracy theories are bullshit, aren't they? Penn and Teller, aren't they bullshit? I thought conspiracy theories are bullshit. Hey, penguins though, aren't conspiracy theories bullshit? Nobody ever conspires, ever. No, never have two or more people gotten together and thought of some plan or carried out some plot, secret plot. Never happened. See, if you believe in conspiracies, you're an idiot. That's the way you should look at it. So this isn't just some dystopian conspiracy theory. According to Geographic Information System expert McGill professor Rene Sieber, cell phone companies already have individual tracking data. Well, you know this. You should know this. All right? You should know this. If you don't know this, all right? Never would I allow myself to be tracked. If you are allowing yourself to be tracked, you should stop today. You should stop. You should take that cell phone out and smash it and end this tyranny. But of course, they're not going to allow you to access anything without a smartphone. This is the way it's going. This is the way. This is the way. The way to their new world order. Question is whether governments can use it to watch your movements. And MTL blog had a chat with Sieber, and they talk about how how you're being tracked. It's really simple. If you have a smartphone, you're being tracked whether you like it or not, according to Sieber. So this is McGill University, which is a top university in Canada, right? McGill professor Rene Sieber. So he is saying, if you have a smartphone, you're being tracked whether you like it or not. Your cell phone becomes you, essentially. He, she, z, there. You have to check out the pronouns on these people. You know, apologies to Rainbow Unicorn Land if I used the wrong pronouns for Sieber here. It's hard to tell. By having an active phone with me, a phone that's on, it doesn't matter what app is on, the cell phone provider is tracking my movement in real time. She suggested that avid social media users are exposing their data even more, telling these companies who they are, what they are, and how they live in their lives. Yes, all that data, especially Amazon and everything, they're collecting everything on you. They know everything about you. They're getting your DNA. They're getting all your information. They're getting all your contacts. When they say, okay, yeah, do you want to get your contacts from your emails and we'll automatically load them and have them ready? And you click on yes, then they get all those contacts. Or they have them already. So they know everybody that you're in contact with. They know every social media post. They know what you eat. They know what you buy. They know what you're into. They know what music you listen to. The reason why they make Apple Music and Spotify and all these things is so that they can add all that information to your digital profile. They take your DNA and they take all these things and they're making a profile for every single human being on the planet so that they can access at any given moment and they can erase your ass because they want to have all, of course, they want to eliminate cache. They want to have all your, everything that you are tied to your digital tattoo, your quantum dot tattoo. Before you get the quantum dot tattoo, you get the barcode basically, right? And they showed how a couple weeks ago they're barcoding the kids in the schools in Liverpool, and they start in Liverpool, and then all of a sudden it's Australia, and now they're doing it elsewhere, and they're bringing in a barcode system. Basically, that's a precursor to the quantum dot tattoos that they have coming, and they'll try to debunk it. No, it's 100% true. Bill Gates has invested billions into these quantum dot tattoos. This is what they want, right? They want a full surveillance tracking system. In fact, yes, you know, we were warned many decades ago that this is exactly what they wanted to do, right? I think of that video there with what's his name from Nevada. The name escapes me, but he said he was in tight with one of the Rockefellers, and he said that they want to destroy the cash system, and they want to microchip everybody, and they want to have all your data in your chip, and so that they can erase you. And then and this is, you know, this is what they said decades ago, that this is exactly what their plan was, and here we go. It's all happening. So it's not a conspiracy. All of that has never been anywhere remotely conspiratorial. Well, it is conspiratorial in the sense that if you describe conspiracies as actual things that happen every single day and are factual and real and run the world, but if you go by the mainstream definition of what conspiracy theories are, well, then you are a bad person, obviously a white supremacist, an anti-Semite, all these things, because you actually think outside the box. So, anyways, these companies know when I'm going to work, when I'm going to recreation, and when I'm visiting friends, because they have other information about me and also know what's in these locations. You see, you just have to destroy your phones and regain your freedom. There's no way that any of this is even remotely constitutional. There's no way that governments, corporations, or any of these things are allowed to do this according to our laws. This, just like all the rules that they're making us abide by, it's a trick of the hand, right? It's like, well, yeah, you had rights, but you know, it was scandemic, right? You know, I mean, we got Kobe, we got people that are dying, old people that are dying. 103-year-old died the other day at some Jewish community center, right? We have to take away all your rights, basically. Cell phone providers and technology companies can then turn around and anonymize the data and sell it, which according to Sieber is completely legal. And they make you sign that when you go to a website and they say, You know, we use cookies, accept the cookies. You can't read the article unless you accept the cookies. The cookies, of course, have all this small sort of lettering. Nobody reads it, of course, saying, well, we're going to take all your data and we're going to share it and we're going to make money off it and we're going to use it and we're going to track you and we're going to do this and all that. But it's okay, right? You want to read the article, so. But even if the information is anonymous, cyber says there are ways to identify individuals. You cannot make this data sufficiently private anymore. The only way to make your data private is just to extract yourself completely from the internet and then live in a Faraday box or something. So why would the government want to track you? Yeah. Well, what do they tell you? The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the government's ability to use this information. So there's the reason. Well, the government wants to keep you morally safer. Morally safer. That's why they say it. Morally safer. That's why they put people like morally safer on shows, because they want to convince you that if you give up all your rights, you'll be morally safer. Cell phone companies have become very cozy with governments. Well, it's as I said, it's a fascist sort of regime that we're witnessing, right? The merge between government and corporations is fascism. It's also the same as communism. It's one and the same. It's the full circle, you know, whether you go extreme left or extreme right, you end up at the same place, right? Complete totalitarianism, and that's where we are. Governments, corporations are one. Governments, corporations, banks, all these things are one. They're all one. They're all part of this one world. That's all. So it's not, you know, look at who staffs your governments. Look at their connections. I mean, look at, for instance, one of the best examples, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, right? Look at the revolving door between Satan, like the world's most evil corporation, right? And how many people, you know, end up in the Food and Drug Administration that were formerly, you know, high up or CEOs of Satan itself. That's how it works, right? It's a corporatocracy, basically, that runs this world. It's a corporatocracy. The most powerful entities in the world are actually these corporations. Absolutely. Google, Microsoft, these are the most powerful corporations. Disney, they're the most powerful things in the world these days. That's the reality. And that's just the fact. And we're facing, it's getting worse because these entities are gobbling up everything else. Cell phone companies know where you are in the space of, in space and time. The moment you hand that off for whatever national security or public health reason, the government knows where you are. There you go. Now, one thing I didn't bring up with Pierre Poilievre here was that he put forth what he did is Pierre Poilievre. So I put Poilievre. I want to show you this. Stop the Great Reset. Okay. So I want you to think about this. You see, I feel the same way about polls and about protests or these, right? These online petitions as I do about what I mentioned before, of course, right? Nonprofit and all these things, right? I'm extremely skeptical, and I wonder what the real purpose is. So I didn't mention this before, but Pierre Poilievre has this online petition, and look at this. Look at this. Will you sign? First name, last name, email, mobile phone, address. So is Pierre Poilievre here to collect all your information or collect all the people that are awake to the Great Reset and have them on a list so that the government knows, the corporatocracy knows exactly who knows or has an inkling about what is actually going on? These things are very dangerous, folks. We have to be aware of this. So that's what it made me think of when I'm looking at the article here. Others can also be gleaned, or other details can also be gleaned from tracking data, like how you're getting from point A to point B. People think about tracking as where you are right now, but what they forget when they're looking at location-based technology is that actually the path you're taking is as important. So the government not only knows where you're going, when you're going, how you're going, but what route you're going. Gee, what could go wrong there? What could possibly go wrong? Governments are great. Governments are awesome. Woo! Yeah, government. Oh, they love us. They love us so much. Why? They would never hurt us. They would never destroy our economy and lock us out of our jobs and muzzle our children and force us all to social distance and ban us from having Christmas or Thanksgiving. No, governments would... Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. I got that wrong. So could a government look at an individual travel if it acquired data from these companies could a government look at individual data if it acquired data from these companies according to Sieber? The answer is yes. Even though the government might not be using your tracked data in a nefarious way, there is a potential for your data to be used as a tool to enforce travel restrictions. Welcome to the new normal. Remember when we used to have freedom? Remember when it was like, yeah, you know what? Let's take a trip down to Mexico. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a drive up to the Yukon for the weekend. Let's go camping in Ontario. Right? Let's get the kids, get in the car. We'll go to Algonquin Park. We'll camp for the week. Remember when we had freedom? Can you imagine how evil this is? I don't even know. I can't tell you how evil this is. I can't quantify how evil this is. I can't. It's not possible. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you on a scale from 1 to 10, but it would be in the upper 10 million plus. It's incredibly evil, folks. This is the slipperiest slope you'll ever see. And where does it go? So now the governments and corporations are collecting all your data, watching everything you do. They're tracking you. They're coming out. They're admitting it. And they're not only tracking you, but they're determining how you're getting around, where you're getting around, what routes you're using, who you're associating with, what you're buying, everything about you. Do you understand why they gave you the internet? Do you understand now? Do you understand why the algorithm gave you the great www dot? You understand now what it's all about? They gave this to us because they wanted to do this to all of us. The corporations that create these devices purposely designed them to be as addictive as you could possibly imagine. They purposely designed Facebook, all the things. You've got mail, all the things that, Twitter, Instagram, to be constantly addictive. It reminds me of, was it Black Mirror? I'm trying to think of where I saw this. Maybe somebody will remember. I think it was a Black Mirror episode. And what happened was a guy goes crazy one day and he kidnaps an employee from a corporation and holds them at gunpoint. And the police come and he's in a cornfield or something like that. And they surround him and he's threatening to kill the person. And what you find out about this gunman is that they were driving home late one night a few years earlier and they got the buzz coming on their cell phones. They're driving home in the country or whatever. And his wife's asleep next to him or something, and he gets a buzz on his phone, so he goes to check his message coming in, and he takes his eyes off the wheel for a second, and he hits a truck or something, and his wife dies. So his wife died because he was distracted at a crucial moment because of his device. These devices are insidious. They can be used for good, obviously. Some people, I imagine quite a few people are probably watching the show right now. But unfortunately, the full potential of evil and surveillance and mind control that comes from these devices, it's the precursor to transhumanism. Like, we are on the stepping, we're on the, we're about to dive headfirst into full transhumanism, right? where and I said it years back in 2015, I think, when the Apple Watch came out. I said that's the next step into transhumanism, that the watch that collects all your data, right? It knows your heart rate, it knows how many steps you took, right? It knows everywhere you've been. And people buy these things and they think somehow their lives are going to be improved, when really it's like sticking a muzzle on a dog, right? It's like sticking a tracker. That's what it is. It's a tracker. It's tracking everything that you do. So, early this year, the Sûreté de Quebec made it clear that it was prepared to use cell phone geolocation to find people with COVID-19 who were not in isolation. Since when, you think about it, how evil is that? So the government police are using your data to track you down, right? And to potentially incarcerate you. I don't even know. A spokesperson for the provincial police told MTL blog at the time that it would not use cell phone geolocation data outside of these circumstances. Yeah, that's okay. We're only using it for certain circumstances. No, they're using it for everything. Whether they choose to act on it, whether they choose to use it against you, whether they choose to track you down, that is the big question, of course. But they are keeping all this data. Data is cheap. Storage for data becomes cheaper every year. So Sieber is generally skeptical of the relationship between governments and cell phone and technology companies, and was unsure how much tracking the public would tolerate. Well, it's full on. So, nobody should tolerate anything, but they've done it. People have given over these minute details about their lives and know they're being tracked. People already accept that as a cost of having access to these technologies. That's how they get you. You say, well, you want to have the technology. There's a caveat. Are people aware of the conscious level of implications of that? Maybe yes, maybe no. Absolutely not. And then look at this. Look what you got here. This woman who's under her mind control, looking at her tracker, her device. Pretty scary stuff, folks. Look at the mask up here, Vista print. My word. All right, so HST, GST on digital purchases to pay for pandemic recovery. So this is one of the ways that they're going to come after you. The Canadian government dreamed up this. We're going to tax people for watching Netflix. Hey, you know what? Fine. You're gonna watch and use their devices and whatever. Then you can pay their bullshit taxes. You can pay their carbon credits and everything else, because they're never going to stop. Unbelievable. So this is what they're doing.
On multinational web giants.
The finance minister has a plan to pay for Canada's pandemic spending, and that plan includes GST and HST.
Remember this guy with his the Asian Elvis with his Cheerio box that he doesn't close up? Exoli Lee. He's the guy that tells you that there's white supremacy and minorities are suffering. It's funny how all the media people are of different ethnicities and whatnot. It almost seems like it's the opposite that's going on, of course.
Money from digital purchases that have been ducking taxes.
If necessary, Canada will act unilaterally to apply a tax on large multinational digital corporations.
I don't know why there's a voiceover here. I don't know what's going on.
So that they...
And what's going on here? I mean, what again, I said, is this India? Like, what? Well, that's, it's a new world order, right? Diversity rules.
Pay their fair share, just like any other company.
I don't know why they're doing the voiceover. I'm a bit slow today because of the lack of sleep, but it's because it's a bilingual country. And, you're probably saying, maybe that's her real voice. But no, it's because she's probably speaking in French at this point, and so they do a voiceover for the rest of Canada sort of thing, people that can't speak French.
Operating in Canada.
Changes proposed in the fall economic update mean Airbnb rentals, purchases from online retailers without a physical presence in Canada, and digital sales for things like streaming services or video games bought online will all now be subject to sales taxes. Stock option tax deductions are also capped at $200,000 unless the options come from a Canadian company. Finance estimates this could raise nearly $600 million in the first year, tripling by 2025.
The billionaires of Canada have increased their net wealth. Their wealthiest corporations have made massive profits. In fact, some have made record profits. So if we want to get through this difficult time, it should not be on the backs of people who have already sacrificed. We should ask.
Yeah, it's Canada, right? What? Yeah, it's Canada. This is what our leaders of our parties look like. And again, I don't care. I don't care where you're from or whatever, but I mean, please don't ever tell me white supremacy. Please never mention that there's white privilege in Canada. You just shut the F up. But yeah, so he mentions billionaires, and so what's the solution? Well, you're not going after the billionaires, you're going to tax everyone else. Well, I guess he's saying that the wealthiest should pay for the recovery. But yeah, they are, and they're all working together anyways. It's all just a big joke. But here's your solution: more taxes. So the government takes all their money and throws it away, and locks people out of their businesses and prohibits people from being able to make money, takes all their money, then gives out the money as dole, right, to people just to survive, and a lot of people take advantage of it, and people double dip and whatever else. And the government says, well, we're bankrupt, so we come up with more taxes. And now we're going to tax this, this, and this. Now, Canada already has the highest taxes in the world. If you don't know this, the goods and services tax, which was brought in by Brian Mulroney, 15% on every purchase you make. Here in Quebec, you get 7% for the provincial and 8% for the federal. So Americans may not know this. But like for instance, like if you purchase something, say I buy something on Amazon or something like that. First of all, Canadian dollar is worth quite a bit less than the American dollar. So it's like 70 cents on the dollar, right, comparatively. Not only do we have to pay way more for the products, the same products that you buy, but we actually get taxed massively on top of that. So any purchase that we make outside of essential, foods, right? That's the only thing. Like junk food and all that's taxed, but basic food doesn't get the tax on it. But we get taxed 15% on everything that we purchase already. And then they want to add another tax on top of that to bail out what they've done. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, of course. Anyways, just pay attention to your governments doing the same thing. Here you've got asymptomatic testing reveals outbreak in Toronto school. Asymptomatic testing. What? Asymptomatic testing. Well, what that means is they're testing asymptomatic people. We all know the tests are bullshit. Do you not know that the tests are bullshit? Portugal knows that the tests are bullshit. Let me just show you this. Where do I have it here? COVID PCR test reliability doubtful. Portugal judges. PCR test is unable to determine beyond reasonable doubt that a positive result corresponds, in fact, to the infection of a person by SARS-CoV-2 virus, said the Lisbon Court of Appeal. And because of that, court decided that the quarantine in the state of alert is illegal in Portugal. You'll never hear about this on the corporate media. CNN will never talk about it. CBC will never talk about this. So the country of Portugal, the top courts have come out and said that the PCR tests are bunk. They're bull crap. And they're not accurate at all in determining whether you have the so-called virus. And so they've said that the lockdown is illegal. Can I move there? I'm serious. I'd move there today. I'd get on a plane right now. If somehow they manage to keep that. I mean, it's unbelievable, folks. It's unbelievable. This is the crime of the century. This is the greatest crime in the history of humanity. That's what it is. It's unbelievable. Now, Copenhagen stopped the lockdown as well. You never hear about that, Copenhagen, Denmark, right? You don't hear about it. They don't tell you because they protested for like a week. I showed this, and they managed to stop the lockdown, the quarantine. But they won't show you that. They won't tell you, they don't tell you about these things. And this is all you need to know. We know this. We've known this all along. The tests are a scam. So if the tests are a scam, then the numbers are a scam. If the numbers are a scam, then the whole thing is a scam. Then the quarantine is a scam. The lockdown is a scam. That means that this is the biggest criminal act in the history of the world. That's all. It's that simple. It's unbelievable, folks. It's unbelievable. I don't care. Like, if you want to believe in global warming, right? You want to believe in the fairy tales of the scam artists of the world, the biggest scam artists in the history of the world. You want to believe in the bankster lies? Go ahead and believe them. But this stuff is unforgivable. Because if you help usher in this totalitarianism, you are every bit a part of this deception. You are an enemy of humanity. You are hurting us all. This is the thing. Like, seriously, ever since day one, I was saying, who's testing the test kits? I said, who's testing the test kits? How do we know? Where are the test kits coming from? What are the test kits testing for? And then we found out about the PCR test. And we found out that the manufacturer, the guy that invented the PCR test, came out and said, no, they're not accurate at all. They're never been used to really determine whether or not somebody's got a legit virus. That they can detect microparticles and stuff like that, but they just amplify it, and they'll give a positive result. So we know when Tanzania went, the government was like, yeah, this is from the United Nations, and they were like, go and test this. The president asked his staff to go and test it. They tested on papayas, goats, fruit, and it all turned positive. We had guys testing apple juice cartons getting positive tests. We know just from even the mainstream media all the false positives. So we have this massive scam that keeps going where they're testing all these people, and then they're saying, well, we're testing asymptomatic people. And they're saying things like, oh, asymptomatic. And I showed Deborah Birx yesterday. Deborah Birx came out and said, if you're young and you went out for Thanksgiving, you were amongst family, you must get tested within 3 to 5 days, and you must assume that you have the virus. These people, there's a special place in hell for these people. Special place. In the basement of hell, where the boiler room is, the hottest place, that's where these people are, or are going to be. It's out of this world, folks. It really is. And good for Portugal to come out. My God. Oh. It's only the most evil plot in the history of the world. That's all it is. I mean, it's that simple, We're all dealing with this, but... So asymptomatic people reveals outbreak in Toronto school. The tests are bunk. They're bunk. Portugal threw them out. The Supreme Court in Portugal threw it out. It's bunk. The tests are bunk. But they're going to tell you, well, they're determining, right? Unbelievable.
Is a major initiative inside Ontario's schools. The province has started proactively testing staff and students in COVID-19 hotspots, regardless of whether or not they are showing any symptoms. And the results released from a school in Toronto's East End this weekend surprised both parents and leaders. In Ontario, it is the very first school to undergo asymptomatic testing, and it has resulted in an outbreak. Of the 433 staff and students tested at Thorncliffe Park Public School, there were 19 confirmed positive cases, 18 students and 1 staff member. 14 classes have been asked to self-isolate.
This is probably just the tip of the iceberg.
These people! My word! Unbelievable. You see? And so what do they do here in Montreal? There was a outbreak at a Jewish community in geriatrics here. And so they had the citizens, quote-unquote citizens, demand that the government force testing on virtually everyone. So this is what they're doing. They're going to do the asymptomatic. It doesn't matter if you have no symptoms. You see, oh, man. This is just the worst thing ever. Unbelievable.
The government has only just launched the new program to voluntarily test staff and students in Ontario's COVID-19 hotspots, and more positive cases are expected, with the Toronto District School Board noting they were prepared for this outcome.
Whether it's at Thorncliffe Park Public School or any other TDSB school, we assume that there is COVID in the school. That's why we have all of our health and safety precautions. So it's not unexpected.
Unbelievable. Look at these classrooms. Look at the students. Look at the hell that they're putting these people through.
Affected, but obviously concerning when you see 19 at once.
The NDP has been calling for testing inside schools since August.
670 schools have reported cases in this province, but we simply don't really have the data.
The NDP might be the worst party in the history of Canada. Like, they are, like, they're so left. I mean, they might as well be Maoist. Like, seriously. Of course, they're run by the New World Order. But these people, right? And that's the whole game that's being played out in the Parliament, in the House of Commons here in Rainbow Unicorn Land. Is you've got Aaron O'Toole, the opposition leader, coming out and slamming the government for not moving fast enough, for not doing more testing. Who says this so-called leader of the Conservative Party says, yeah, I don't know anything about the Great Reset. I don't pay attention to social media. And you could be the next prime minister, and you don't even know what the Great Reset is. Of course, he does know what the Great Reset is. He's just a lying scumbag from hell. They're all in it. They're thick as thieves, folks. That's the reality. Thick as thieves. Conservative leader O'Toole attacks Turdo governments for fiscal update. See?
From Christian Freeland and the Liberals' fall economic update, the Conservatives said they need to see a plan.
Evan Solomon. You remember this turd? This turd with the fake bullet holes at the fake shooting in Ottawa, where he pointed to the Masonic marks and said, yeah, you can see the bullet holes here.
That showed a sense of fiscal constraint after the pandemic ended. Well, the deficit is now projected at best to be $381 billion in 2021. The government expects that to fall significantly over the next 2 years, but it could go as high as almost $400 billion. By 2025 or 26, they say the deficit will be lowered to $24.9 billion.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Just incredible. Just incredible. You see, they're setting the table for this. Here's the Green Party leader, a man named Paul, I think it's called. Here, let's listen to this. This is a
political reaction. So let's bring in the Green Party leader, Annamie Paul. This is her first.
You better wake your ass up. Not only the first black leader of a Canadian political party, but the first Jewish black leader of a Canadian political party. Yeah. A party person who doesn't even have a seat in the government, couldn't even get elected in the most insignificant party in the history of Canada, which of course is the Green Party. But a man named Paul here.
Budget as the leader, or first economic update. So welcome to you. Your initial thoughts on, I should just tell people, you've seen this in detail. It has been embargoed since noon today, so you've had a chance to read through it. What is your initial reaction to the economic update?
Well, not quite read through it. It's a pretty chunky document, but my feeling is first and foremost that anything that's in there that the Green Party can support, we definitely will. This is a moment for cross-party cooperation.
The moment for cross-party cooperation. Governments, yeah, woo! Governments are the greatest thing. Government is freedom. You know this, right? Government equals freedom. More government equals more freedom, right? Freedom. You get it? Wow, you better wake your ass up with that one. Oh my God! Oh, I hate these people. Oh, I can't stand them. Oh, Lord, no more, please. I don't want to see these people. Oh, I'm so sick of them and their scarves.
I'm reporting 643 new cases of COVID-19. There are 249 people in Toronto in hospital with COVID-19, and 48 are in the ICU.
The boiler room of hell. The devil right now is expanding it. He's like, oh, we got to get some major excavation going on. We got a lot of people coming. We're going to stick them all. Yeah, we're going to stick them down below where the hottest part of hell is. That's where these people are going to go. Every single stinking day. Kenny's latest remarks on coronavirus demonstrate direct racism, says think tank. Think tank. Is it think tank? Do tanks think? I guess so.
Good afternoon. Members of Calgary's South Asian
community are demanding an apology from the Premier.
Nick.
Calgary's South Asian community are demanding an apology from the Premier.
It comes after Jason Kenney said the community's large family
And it
gathering.
comes after Jason Kennedy says, these people, seriously, do humanity a favor and just take a long walk on a short pier, you shills from hell. Good Lord.
Were contributing to the rapid spread of COVID-19. In an interview with Calgary radio station Red FM last week, Kenney said he needed to give the South Asian community a wake-up call. He said their traditionally large family gatherings are beautiful and show a strong sense of hospitality, but that new COVID-19 restrictions must be respected. Kenney says he wasn't trying to lay blame or target anyone.
We know that it's a tradition to have big family gatherings
You know what?
at home.
White people are awful. Let's just admit, white people are awful. Christians are awful. Christians are doing everything wrong. White people are doing everything wrong. White gatherings are awful, evil, racist, misogynist, bigoted, everything, right? But if you say any other group and you say, like Legault did, saying, Hanukkah this winter, maybe Hanukkah, we're going to have to cut back, then you're anti-Semite. If you say South Asians or whatever, that, they typically like to have big family gatherings and we just don't, this is all part of a script. You know that, right? They're just playing their roles. He's meant to play this role. He's meant to be the white, misogynistic, privileged, douchebag, racist, right? That's his role. And so he's meant to say these things that are scripted so that they bring in the reaction and they say, well, all these minorities are suffering from white supremacy and white, this and that. Oh, it's just so tiresome. Anyways, let's move on from that crap. Moderna's top doctor. Canada is not in the back of the line for COVID-19. Woohoo! Yeah! Big Harma. Come on, get it, man.
It's become a little bit of a political hot potato in our country. Some are accusing our federal government of being at the back of the line when it comes to vaccines. I'm wondering whether you can help to clarify.
Is this anchor on Quaaludes or something? I wonder if you can help to quantify.
When you think Canadians realistically can expect to start getting doses of the Moderna vaccine?
So I believe Canada has actually opted for more than 20 million doses.
Woo!
I'll go back and confirm with my team, but the number that I have in my head is actually larger. I don't think Canada has been at the back of the line at all. I've seen the Canadian experts and regulators do what everybody across the globe has been doing, which is to look at the various vaccines as they have been.
Dr. Talzax! Doctors Talzax! Yeah, man. Yeah, you could trust in Big Harma. Big Harma loves you. Trust in Dr. Talzax here. Wow, interesting name. Interesting. So, yeah, we're not at the back of the line. No, we're in the middle of the line. We're somewhere up there. Don't worry, the minorities will get it first, though, because, that's the way it goes. So what about this one? Coronavirus. Manitoba's top doctor speaks after young boy dies. So Loch Ness Monster died, and here is Manitoba's top doctor. Top doctor, I guess so. I mean, if you're going to call yourself the top doctor, I guess you are. There you go. You're the top dog in this town.
Of the child under 10 years old who died. Can you tell us anything in terms of pre-existing conditions or any other factors that might have played a role?
Yeah, and so absolutely, a tragic day here in Manitoba. I think every day when we announce these is a tragedy to Manitobans.
Well, let me guess. He was eaten by a shark. So Kobe.
To their loved ones, and when we announce a death of such a youngster, that's really
milk it.
Really highlighted.
Milk it.
So really, all I could say is there were underlying conditions.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, government. Woo! Yeah, he was mangled by a lawnmower. He was eaten by a shark. He was hit by a bus, but he had COVID. Yeah. So we're going to use it. Yeah.
Underlying conditions.
Yeah.
So really all I could say is, there were underlying conditions.
There you go. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. Then all of a sudden, sorry. Sorry. Underlying, I'm sorry. As soon as you say that, I'm sorry. Take your Kobe and shove it up your cake hole. This is the most evil plot in the history of the world. That's all. These people. Anyways, let's move on here. Check this out. Isn't this interesting? Skate Off, Megan Duhamel, and Wojciech Wolski perform to Reset. Yeah! Woo! Yeah, the Reset. Yay! Hey! Hey, did you guys hear about the crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theory? That there's some global reset? You ever hear about that? Yeah, it's so crazy. These people are nuts. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Reset. Wow. I would play it. But interesting. I would play it. Well, imagine how it's gonna be in like 5 or 6 years. You're ice dancing. Imagine it'll be 2 men. A Manny Paul. Oh, anyways, let's move on. Yeah, it's the Reset. Then you get shit like this. Young boy starts food bank street challenge. So again, they use children all the time. This is just how it works. And they're like, oh, look at this kid. He just came up with this idea all out of the blue. Yeah, instead of playing video games, instead of playing street hockey, instead of, hanging out with his friends and doing what normal kids do at his age, he's saving the world. Yeah, save the world. He's going to get food bank. And it caught on like wildfire. It's like snowballing now. Now, all of a sudden, all these people, we got food banks everywhere. All of a sudden, Soylent Green government coming to your door. Here, we brought your shipment of Soylent Green. Yeah, this is all part of the Great Reset, of course.
We got 317 pounds. But then if we got 317 pounds, we wondered if more streets did it.
Who's we? Who's we? Who's we? Who are you working for?
Pounds we would get all together.
Yeah.
And that's how 12-year-old Jalen came up with the idea of an online community food bank challenge. So he's challenged other streets in his neighborhood to get out and collect food donations, and the idea has snowballed into more than he ever expected.
When you first started...
Oh, yeah! Look at this shill! I love shills! Yeah, shills! Shills are awesome. You look at this lady. A shill for the New World Order. I just can't wait to get up and shill today. I can't wait. I'm going to go and shill all day long. Oh, these people. I'm just going to lose my... I get so angry. Oh, speaking of shills. Doctor comforting elderly patient and heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. Yeah. Nah.
93,000 Americans hospitalized with coronavirus. It's the frontline workers who deal with the reality of this pandemic. Millions of people have now seen this photo capturing a doctor comforting.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah. Millions of people can't take it anymore. If you scumbags didn't forbid families from actually being with their loved ones, I mean, that's got to be the most evil thing. In fact, I got to show you something. Let's show you something here. Let's bring up my shitter here and show you here an example here of how it works. Check this out. Just take a good look at this face. Just take a good look at it. Then I'm going to read you what the post says. I just want you to take a good look at this face. Take a good long look at this face. Now let's read what it says. Just held a person's hand as they died alone, without their family or loved ones by their side. Glad you enjoyed your meal. So this was a response to this post. Lawrence Fox 666, you get it? Just had a large group over to lunch and we hugged and ate and talked and put the world to rights. It was lovely. You will never take that away from people. Stay out, protect your rights. If the NHS can't cope, then the NHS isn't fit for purpose. Compliance is violence. So her post got 500,000 likes. And her post is telling you, this is what this person here, this face with this person is saying. They just held a person's hand as they died alone. They died alone. Joanna, who has her pronouns, cardiothoracic intensive care nurse with the rainbow. And this person was lamenting the fact that they held this, again, you like Brothers Grimm stories, yeah, sign up for all the fake news, right? But this person's saying that they held, that an elderly person died alone. And she was holding their hand. And she's trying to push guilt on the person who posted, the shill that posted that they just had a big dinner with all their friends to make it feel like that is horrible. How evil is it that these people are dying alone? And I'm not talking about the Kobe. I'm talking about just old people. You know, the extremely legitimate PCR test that the state of Portugal has thrown out? All these old people are dying alone because these scumbags won't let you be with your family. And they have the gall to come out and try to guilt you. This is their theatrics, though. This person works for the same people that this person works for. This is how the game is played. Control both sides, pit them endlessly against each other, and use it to bring in their new world order. So, where were we here? God, Lord, if I ever see this person's face again. Oh, I gotta close these. Hang on a second. I'm gonna close a bunch of these. Let's get rid of them. Get rid of them. Yeah, there you go. So, again, it's a scripted photo. Totally scripted. Total bullcrap. It could have been taken 10 years ago. It could have been something completely unrelated. It could just be something that they just completely whipped up. But they use this to guilt you. And the real crime, there's so many crimes that are happening, but one of the biggest crimes that is happening is all these elderly people who are dying normally, because people die. I don't know if you know this, if it's a newsflash to you. People get old, they die. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Do you know this? I don't know if you don't know this, because maybe you watch Penguin Zoo or Shirley DeFranco. But people actually die in life. People get old and they die. In fact, and there's billions of people. And right now, we're on the precipice of the largest population getting old. So like the baby boomer generation now is getting to that age. So there's a lot of people, a lot more older people that are dying because there's a lot more older people. So old people die. People get old, they die. And they die of all kinds of things. Usually an elderly person, gets hospitalized. Maybe they take a fall, right? They break their hip or something. Break their leg or whatever, and they end up in the hospital, and then they come down with other things because hospitals aren't exactly the most sanitary places on the planet. In fact, there's a lot of viruses and things going around. Or maybe they've got cancer, or they've got pneumonia, or they've got whatever, right? They've got all kinds of complications, and they've just lived out their lifespan. It's over for these people. They die. And it's tragic, and it's sad, but that's life, right? We all go through it, and we're all going to end up, at that point, at some point in our lives. When somebody gets really old and they die, that is not a tragedy. In fact, it should be a celebration. I know it's going to be sad that they're gone, but it should be a celebration in the sense, like kind of like an Irish wake or something, right? Where you celebrate the person's life. You have a bunch of drinks, and you think of the good times, and you try to remember the spirit of the person. But instead, this is a manipulation. So all these old people that are dying of natural causes are being used as an excuse. Oh, it's so evil. I don't even know what to say. It's just so evil.
Patient on Thanksgiving Day. Joining us now is that doctor, Dr. Joseph Verone. He's the Chief of Staff at the United Memorial Medical Center in Houston. Dr. Verone, as always, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your compassion. The photographer who took that picture was Go Nakamura of Getty Images, we should say. You were the doctor. Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, what's going on is, as you know, I have been very transparent with the media. So I usually have media in our unit so people can see what's going on. So I have the photographer following me. And as I'm going inside my COVID unit,
he has a photographer following him. He's been very transparent with the media. So the media is the enemy of humanity. He's been very transparent with the enemy of humanity. And he has a photographer that's following him. Who has a photographer that's... How dumb are people? You gotta be a fucking idiot! Ugh. fucking idiot. People are so dumb. It's infuriating how stupid people are, because like, who's taking the photo? He has a photographer following him. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry for swearing. I just can't hold it in. There's a point where it's too much. It just hurts too much to see how stupid people have become. I've never seen such idiocy. It just... I gotta move on because I'm just gonna lose it. Here's the latest in Europe.
The surge in the U.S. European cases are
Whoop.
just in time for the holidays. ABC News foreign correspondent Maggie, just in time for cases are flattening just in time for the holidays. ABC News foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli has more on that. Maggie, it sounds like Europe is finally flattening that curve. How are they doing it, and what does this mean for restrictions there going into Christmas?
Yeah, Dan, this is a little bit of good news here. You know, most of Europe went into a fairly strict lockdown last month. Here in the UK, we've been in a near total lockdown for a month, very similar to what we saw at the beginning of this pandemic. And this was widespread across the continent. And the past week or so, we've really starting to see our efforts pay off. Those levels are definitely flattening out. And so, Dan, like you asked, the big question is, what does this mean for Christmas? Holidays are just weeks away. Everyone wants to celebrate with their families around the world. But leaders say they're cautious. They want to slowly come out of these lockdowns. So here in the UK, our official total lockdown ends on Wednesday, but it's not going to be sort of a free-for-all. We're going into it.
In fact, it's not. It's a lie. They're telling you that the lockdown ends, but it's actually going to be bigger and more restrictive. They just changed the goalpost. They just moved the goalpost. It's total garbage, folks. And of course, what will happen is parts of Europe, they'll choose strategic parts, and they'll say, these people went and celebrated Christmas and they had their big family gatherings, and look what happened. And they'll use the same script, and there'll be another surge, and they'll come in and they'll do the exact same thing again, except they'll increase the restrictions. This is how the game is played. So interesting symbolism. All right, let's move on then. Here we got poorest twice as likely to die from coronavirus in UK. You get the script? Like, how dare you complain about being locked out of your job, losing your business, you know, being forced to take government handouts, or being, you know, forced to be muzzled all day at work, or, you know, go through checkpoints, be forbidden for traveling, all these things. The poorest are suffering more. So shut the F up is what they try to tell you here.
It's been acknowledged by government and other public bodies that the pandemic has hit vulnerable groups and those living in deprived areas the hardest. Official figures for England show that the overall death rate between April and June this year in the poorest areas was nearly double that of the least deprived. The government says it is committed to reducing deprivation and has spent over £100 billion in welfare support this year, and that they are ensuring that councils have the appropriate resources. Our special correspondent Ed Thomas has spent time in Burnley and reports now on some of those trying to cope there with unemployment and with mental health issues.
I love the poor because I know I'm the poor, and as long as I breathe, I'll serve the poor. You see all these people, they have children, hungry children.
It's hard to keep. It's just a joke, man. Look at this scripted garbage.
Your distance when you're cold and hungry. Politicians say that it was a level, this coronavirus.
Cold and hungry. A woman in a wheelchair that looks like she's 400 pounds. She's about Jeff C's weight. Yeah, I buy it anyways. You know what that is. Oh, I wanted to show you another thing here. Press. Shout out to Press. Tom, hope you're doing well, buddy. He posted this on his Twitter. And it's showing a show called When Project Runway Predicts the Future on 4/4/2019. So April the 4th in 2019, there was a show here called Project Runaway. And it had a contestant named COVID who wore a facial mask to go on the runway design. And as Tom says, this is called predictive programming, and it's used subconsciously to prepare populations en masse for what is to come. Yeah, exactly.
Good luck. Do you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not
detail. This 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. Brandon said it. But
It's only the most evil plot in the history of the world. That's all. That's all it is. Don't worry about it. Don't lose sleep over it. It is only the most evil plot in the history of the world. So we saw the PCR test in Portugal being rejected by the Supreme Court. And of course, as a result, they decided that the quarantine was illegal. I gotta emigrate there. My word. Damn. I love Portugal. What a great place. One of my patrons posted this. 666 new coronavirus cases in DuPage County in the past 24 hours. And to top it off, 6 people died in the past 24 hours. Oh, they have a sense of humor, I guess. We know they're evil. That's for sure. But that's the way it works. Here's Bolsonaro playing his role. Bolsonaro says he will not take the coronavirus vaccine.
Brazil's right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro said he will not take a coronavirus vaccine, calling it his, quote, right. He made statements live on social media Thursday, adding that Congress was not likely to require Brazilians to take a vaccine. The South American country has the second highest number of coronavirus.
And what the hell is this crap? This is what media does. This is Reuters. Rothschild Reuters. And here they are showing you some bullcrap graves. Mass graves. They've been doing this all along, eh? Showing you mass graves. Remember Hart Island in New York, or off of New York City, one of the islands there? This is where they're storing all the bodies. This is for real, y'all. Right? And then they showed you Mexico. Remember when they showed you Iran? Remember? They showed you mass graves. Oh, satellite images. Imagine the people that fell for that. Imagine the people in the TUF movement that actually pushed that. Said, oh my gosh, this thing's way worse than they're letting us know. Wow. You have to wonder. You really do. But there you go. So Bolsonaro is just a shill playing his role. Of course, he's the Trump of Brazil. He's the Bojo of Brazil. And he's resisted all this stuff, and he's played out his role to a T. And now he's going to say he's not going to take the vaccine. And it's unlikely that Parliament's going to force everyone. But you'll see what happens in Brazil. Besides, he'll probably be removed really quickly from office. And he's a scumbag shill of the New World Order. He's just playing his role. They have to have... That's the way the game works. You see, if Mark Dice didn't exist and Alex Jones didn't exist, then people like myself would have millions of listeners, and that would be very dangerous because we're not controlled by anybody. So they have to control people and have them on opposite sides. Anyways, I'm preaching to the choir. How about this one? Bill Gates predicts when the next pandemic will arrive. Isn't that wonderful?
I would say that judging by the way that things are unrolling, I think we're likely to see one.
So this is what he says. He says, is previously warned about the prospect of a worldwide pandemic and believes that another one is almost inevitable in an increasing globalized world. Wonderful. This is what he said.
Hopefully it will be 20 years from now, but we must assume that it could be 3 years from now. There is a reasonable possibility that the world will face something like this in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. So isn't that awesome? Just awesome. I don't know who put this guy in charge. Whoever did should be fired. Who put this guy in charge of the world? My word. Could you imagine? Revenge of the Nerds. Here we are. We had the Qantas story. TMF, shout out to TMF. He covered this, and I covered it back when it happened, which was the Qantas Airlines displaying the Freemasonic Illuminati symbols on their plane. Z-plane! And they were the first airline to come out and announce, look at this douchebag. I think this is the CEO of Qantas. And they came out, and they're the first airline to say Future of Flying 66, they're saying that passengers will need to be vaccinated to fly in their plane. So we already know that, right? We've talked about that. Qantas, it begins, it's funny because that's their slogan, it begins with Qantas. So it began with Qantas. That's why they showed you Illuminati, and they showed you this, right? If you didn't see the plane here, you know what? I'll just do the images. Yeah. And they actually came out and said, "Oh no, it's one of the mechanical engineers, and he was a big fan of what was it, the Dan Brown novels? You ever read those horrible Dan Brown novels?" And that they put the symbols on, but that was this sign because we were saying, pay attention to what's happening, pay attention to the Qantas, and sure enough, they become the first to enforce that future of flying. As you see, then we get this here. Nurse on what it's like to see people die. These people, honestly, there's a special place in hell. The devil is working overtime. He's got an excavation crew. He's digging a lower pit for all you people. That's for sure. But here we go.
The sound the zipper on a body bag makes. Think about the lives and what you can do to make sure you're not the next number. You're not the next life that we put in a body bag. I don't understand what 230,000, 240,000 deaths looks like. Because for me, math is hard. I can't think of a memory.
Yeah, you should think about the math of all the fake PCR test results. You should think of the math of all the people that have died with underlying conditions. You should think of that math, you scumbag. Of course, wearing a mask is just to enforce, because there's no reason for this person to wear a mask when they're speaking, but it's all just, this is the new normal, of course, right?
In which I was part of a crowd that big, or part of a group that big, so...
And now this news, honestly, again, a special place, extra hot in hell for all of you people, including now this news. Now this news, one of the worst garbage, mind control programming, disgusting, vomitous, New World Order shill operations on YouTube. And listen to the violin that they have playing, the tragic violin in the background. Listen to this.
So when the news says we've reached a new death toll, I don't understand that. But as a frontline healthcare worker, I can understand. And I can describe the sound the zipper on.
Yeah! Woo! Zipper! Zip!
You
know, you should zip that trap of yours. Zip it shut. These people, honestly. Again, special place in hell. Special place in hell.
The feeling of my hand on a chest. And the feeling of 2 minutes of CPR before the next pulse check. I can describe with great detail
Shut up and
the
die.
odd and very ugly color of purplish gray you turn when your body is suffocating. So for me, whereas I can't understand the numbers,
yeah, crank it up, man.
Behind those numbers,
yeah, get those violins
every
going.
Every single one of those was a life.
I have a violin playing too. It's the world's smallest violin. I don't know if you can hear it. You cucks. Arg, arg! I just want to rage.
A person that mattered, and a person that is gone. All of us have a great responsibility to quarantine, to stay safe, to not go see others. This is all in our hands. And I don't expect you to understand what we're going through as healthcare workers. We can't start showing
I don't know. I've watched enough TikTok videos. I can't watch any more of this. I'm going to rage. Look at this one. She got COVID-19 days before her wedding. She just got married while in quarantine. Yeah, Loch Ness Monster just married the Bigfoot there. Yeah, the gay music. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me! Look at this nonsense! Just shut up. This Jimenez person, too. We've covered a Jimenez. One of the nurses, if I'm not mistaken, was named Jimenez. I don't know if it's the same crisis actor. Look at this. They're forced to change their venue. And look, what is he marrying her from down below? Rapunzel! Rapunzel! It's so dumb! Oh, it's so dumb! Oh, you're so... These people. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You are a retard if you believe this shit. You are a retard. Oh, look at that. Come on. Wake the F up, you retards. Oh, almost married. Oh, I can't take this. Oh, this is so dumb. Oh my God. Can't believe this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh Jesus, please spare us. What do we got here? CNN silent as nurses' viral tale of patients denying coronavirus from deathbeds falls apart. This is from Fox News here.
Fox News alert, backlash growing over new COVID-19 restrictions. Hundreds of Californians rallied over the weekend against Governor Gavin Newsom's new curfew, which orders residents in most counties to stay home between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. with certain exceptions. The curfew is expected to last about a month, but the sheriff of Fresno County says she will not penalize residents who violate it. Watch.
Well, this is consistent
Shut up.
budgets.
I don't know. They don't have the video here, but this is the nurse. We showed this thing here. Oh. These people are subhuman. Oh.
Even now, the hospital is being overrun with COVID patients. They come in, they're horribly ill, they're gasping for breath, and yet they don't believe.
Shut up! You shill harder, please! Can you shill harder? Harder, please! Shill harder! Shill harder, please, CNN, please. Just shill harder. Full on shill. 110%. Give it your A+++ game. Listen to this shill.
The hospital
Listen
is being
to this.
overrun with COVID patients. They come in, they're horribly ill, they're gasping for breath, and yet they don't believe they have COVID.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to watch is that people are still looking for something else, and they want a magic answer, and they don't want to believe that COVID is real. And the reason I tweeted what I did is it wasn't one particular patient. It's just a culmination of so many people and their last dying words.
So what they're saying here in the Fox News article here, CNN is silent after South Dakota emergency room Dr. Jody Doring claimed on Liberal Network that patients were dying from coronavirus often don't believe it, despite her story appeared to be a massive exaggeration, if not worse. CNN's interview went viral, pulling in over 5.8 million views on Twitter's Newsbusters conducted a study indicating that CNN spent 23 minutes and 38 seconds on Doring's tale over a 2-day period. 23 minutes. Of course, CNN has yet to air an acknowledgement or correction because when there's a narrative to push, CNN subscribes to the mantra of "it rings true, it's true." Newsbusters managing editor Chris Huak wrote, "It wasn't one particular patient, it's just a culmination of so many people, and their last dying words are, 'This can't be happening, it's not real.'" That's what all the crisis actors, crisis actors absolutely do not exist. They only exist in the minds of delusional, crazy conspiracy theorists, right? But all the crisis actors from all the fake events over the years, they always say the same thing. They always say, always, "It didn't feel real. It felt surreal." They always say that. This is not happening. It didn't feel real. It's not real. And when they should be spending time FaceTiming their families, they're filled with anger and hatred And that just made me really sad. The nurse told the New Day, the host of the New Day. Oh, these people are so sinister. And somebody said that she's generally gross for choosing to go on TV to share the private words of dying patients. Now, again, you can't do that, right? Like, that breaks the oath of doctoring and nursing, right? You're not supposed to go and reveal what your patients said on their deathbed, sort of thing. But that's what they do because they are propagandists, and this is fake news, and Fox is just playing the opposite side, so it's just more of the garbage. So yeah, you see that. And again, what I said before, I said it earlier, right? I said a lie goes halfway around the world before the truth is even uttered, right? Like even whispered kind of thing. And if you think about it, all those people that saw this creature here saying these bullshit things were already influenced and have completely moved on and will never see the correction or never see that, oh, this person was full of crap. Or this person was, gross violation of their duties, right? Sort of thing, because that's how it works. So, of course, the irony. Here's COVID. Moderna says its COVID-19 is 94.1%. I want 99.9. Go full Satanism. 99.9, just like the Lysol and all the cleaning products that you see on your shelves. Kills 99.9% of germs. But yeah, here you go.
Severe cases, it means reduced or no hospitalization and no death, and that will be, of course, I believe, a game changer in this pandemic.
More hopeful news on the COVID-19 vaccine front. Moderna says new study results suggest its shot is more than 94% effective in preventing.
Look at this thing too. She's got to touch the screen. Wow, did she have to be trained to touch the screen to bring this up?
Look, he said, and it's 94.1.
I mean, like, yeah, that's that for sure. There's no way they would ever lie about anything. Nothing's ever lied in the media. It's all fact. It's all. Wow.
Virus, even more promising, it proved a full 100% effective in preventing severe cases of the disease. Moderna now asking U.S. regulators to allow emergency use.
Shill it.
Any vaccine distribution.
Yeah. I mean, they said it must be real. Well, let's get it out there. Let's get it in the babies. Yeah, we got to get it in the babies. Then we could eat the babies. We get the Moderna in the babies. Then we could eat the babies. Let's eat the babies then. I'm sure they would be in favor of that, right? Planned Parenthood, eat the babies. That's what you got to do. All right, let's move on here. Look at these scumbags. Bully teens find success in slime. Like, listen to this. Listen to this headline. Bully teen finds success in slime. Let me just repeat that for you. Bully teen finds success in slime. I mean, how awful is our media? I don't even know. There's a special place in hell for everybody that works for. I don't care I don't care if you're cleaning the floors. You're gonna go there.
GMA3, and we are back with the teenage small business success. The young woman lifting her financial future as well as her spirits. Take a look at this.
My interest in slime first came about when
My interest in slime. Well, you're in the right place. You're in the perfect place. The corporate media. Yeah, that's exactly where all the slime is. There's lots of slime there. Lots of slime. Look at this crap. Oh my God. Oh wow.
My interest in slime first came about when probably I think I was like.
Take a look at this.
My interest in slime first came about when probably I think I was 15 or 16. Since I had dealt with depression and bullies, it really just helped me relax.
Hey, just play with your slime. It's okay, just play with your slime. Keep eating those donuts, though. Yeah, that's the way to get out. Find salvation through the slime. Yeah, the slime.
I watch his videos, and they're just so satisfying. So.
It's so satisfying. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
When I was a junior,
you gotta eat the slime. Eat the slime.
It was entrepreneurship. That teacher taught me
that's
about
it.
business and how to start business.
Slime.
And my mom, she also was like, you should start.
You should start selling your slime. You gotta start selling. You gotta sell the slime. You gotta sell the slime. Sell it. Teen overcomes bullying by selling slime. They sell slime every day on CNN and Good Morning America. I mean, come on. Oh, and YouTube, like, look, okay? I'm not bullying anybody. I'm making fun of the corporate media. I feel sorry for overweight people or extremely obese people, okay? I do. But I am going to make fun of things, all right? Because that's what I do, all right? It's a comedy show, don't you know? It's a show about cats. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, we got slime. Yeah, slime.
Most of the time because
slime.
I'm not gonna lie, there's times I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so happy. Is that song? I can't stand loving nobody but you for all my life. Imagine me and you and me playing with the slime every day. It's so dumb.
She just pushes me to go and like keep going. COVID-19 definitely slowed business down. I was sad about it because I get so excited when I'm busy.
It's got pineapple crunch slime. Pineapple whip, pineapple crunch. Oh, it's over, folks. It's done. It's done. It's a wrap. It's over. Sorry, it's done, folks. It's welcome to hell. Hope you enjoy your stay. Oh man, I can't even. Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You know, doing something I love.
Yeah, playing in the slime, something you love.
Pop-up events are actually open. It's almost like it was before. Just now we have to wear masks and gloves.
Yeah.
So I actually launched my website like 2 weeks ago. It's slimegetslit.com. My slimes, I don't want them to be basic. You know, I want them to be like,
yeah.
Wow, I've never seen that before.
That's complex slime. Yeah, that's slime. It's just, I'm going to do it all day. All day. All day. That's all I want to do is play with slime all day long. I just play with slime. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what could be better? You're going to find salvation in the slime. The slime.
Slime changed my life because it not only like...
Slime changed my life. Yes. Changed your life. Wow.
It was also something fun to do on the side. My depression, I would say, is gone because like,
the slime.
You're so busy,
slime.
Like and distracted, you don't think about negativity.
Wow. I see slime in a whole new way now.
I think my daughters might have introduced your daughter to slime. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're still getting the stains out.
Well, hey there, G.
Hey, you better wake your ass up. Hey, you better wake your ass up. Yeah, come to the corporate media. You're fast asleep if you're already there. Oh. How about this? The double pandemic, COVID-19 and gender-based violence. Oh, man, never stop. Never.
The United Nations
called it a shadow pandemic, one that has intensified during this COVID-19 public health crisis. Shelters across Canada are seeing a disturbing escalation of violence against women and girls during this pandemic. Crisis calls have also dramatically...
That's it, man. That's it, man. Yeah, that's it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, they'll never stop. They'll never stop. Ever, ever, ever. They're going to stack these things on top like Jenga. They just like, let's put this on. Let's do this now. Let's push this Jenga.
Increased.
Disturbing data emerging from the annual Shelter Voices report, a snapshot of what shelters and transitional homes across Canada are dealing with during
Women's Shelters Canada, yeah.
this pandemic.
With COVID-19, it really was, a pandemic within a pandemic.
Yeah, it's a pandemic within a pandemic. It's a storm within a storm. It's a wave within a wave. It's a tsunami within a tsunami. It's a double. It's a double dip. Oh, gosh, these people. Oh, my gosh. Here we got our friend here, Anomaly. This is interesting what he said here.
I'm not saying it's fake, but using it as a Trojan horse. I do think they're using this as a Trojan horse. It's a real virus. I'm not saying it's fake, but using it as a Trojan horse. It's a real virus. I'm not saying it's fake, but using it as
all I need to hear. And investigation finds widespread racism and discrimination against Indigenous peoples in the BC. It's unbelievable. It'll never stop. 84% of indigenous people who took part in the investigation reported discrimination system. Of course, white people are terrible. Everybody knows this. Let's just, we got to eat the white people. Yeah, we got to eat the white people. Let's just get rid of the white people, you know? I mean, seriously, everyone is a victim. Everyone is a victim. Are you a victim? You must, oh, you're white. You're not a victim. There you go. You're a Karen. That's it. You white women, you Karen. There you go. You Karen. Shut up, Karen. Shut up, Karen. Oh, man. Liberal government delays gun marking regulation as advocates call for stricter gun control measures. Yeah. Let's get on with the guns. What else do we have here? Healthcare workers here. Healthcare workers describe burnout, grueling conditions, meet the press. I don't even want to see that. And then you got Biden here doing the all-female. He's an all-female communications team. Oh, that's going to work out just splendid. Of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, but I'll take a quick look at it.
Joe Biden is dealing with his first misstep as U.S. president-elect. He is now in a walking cast after hurting his ankle and fracturing his foot. Now, Biden was playing with his dog.
Yeah, he's
Major
playing with his dog. Oh, my gosh. What a script. He's playing. What was his dog name? Major?
With his dog Major yesterday when he took a fall. He then went to a specialist in the afternoon and was videotaped leaving later in the evening. Biden is expected to need the walking cast for the next several weeks. Now, that said, Joe Biden is still...
Yeah. So he's going to have a walking cast for the next several weeks because he hurt himself playing with his dog. I don't know what they're trying to code in that, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's a... Look at this guy, too. Look at this. Is this real? Is this a human? Is it a CGI thing? Has this person ever seen a razor blade? I'm just curious. Like, what's going on?
Our senior Washington editor is Lindsay Duncombe. She joins us right now in
Yeah. Shill it.
Shill. Biden's choices here because his team is framing his takes as history. What kind of message is he trying to send?
Just shill it.
Well, I guess it goes down to that old phrase, dance with the ones that brung ya, because certainly in the way that the transition...
Is there a piano somewhere, an old grand piano? I mean, seriously? Come on, seriously. There's got to be some of them that just have outlived their usefulness. But yeah, he appoints an all-female thing here.
Is framing these choices. It is very much an acknowledgement of the women and people of color that were part of the key demographics that brought this 78-year-old...
I like this Simone Sanders. I think you better wake your ass up here. Oh, man. Look at these. Ashley Etienne. Yeah, I guess so. It's the pronouns, man. You choose your own pronouns, dude. Yeah, look at this. Jen Psaki. She's like, I'm not a shill. I'm not a shill of the New World Order. Look at Pilly Tobar. She likes her candy bars. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Yeah. And Kate Bedingfield, and then you have Elizabeth E. Alexander here. Wow. Biden-Harris transition, first White House senior communications staff announcement. Oh, aren't you looking forward to the Biden administration theatrics? Wow. That's going to be something. And I think there's one last thing I wanted to cover before I close out the show here, and I'll do a full video on this, but maybe Camille, hey Camille, talk about this. Maybe me and Camille can do this up on an upcoming show here. Microsoft files patent to record and score meetings on body language. So look at this. So, I mean, like, full-on surveillance where they're now going to, like, they're already videotaping everyone. You got the Echoes and the Alexas and everything you do is being collected. Your poop is being collected. Everything's being collected. Everything you do is being watched. And now they're going to read your body language. Awesome. Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft, the one with, what's her name there? Oh, gosh, Marina Abramovich. Right? Yeah, good old Satanism. Wonderful. Isn't this just great? This is their patent here. And technology giant Microsoft has filed a patent for a system to monitor employees' body language and facial expressions during work meetings and give the events a quality score. Yeah, you know that whole, social credit score, the thing that they showed you on Black Mirror. It's all just crazy conspiracies. Nah, that's not going to happen. Nah, you're not going to be, not everything. Nah, it's all fake. It's crazy conspiracy. Please, get the mallet out. Whack your head 500 times a day. Penguin Zoo. Watch a grown man collecting Pokemon cards. That's where you need to go. Because, obviously, right? But yeah, here you go. A filing suggests it could be deployed in real-world meetings or online virtual get-togethers. It envisions rooms being packed with sensors to monitor the participants, which could raise... It could! It's possible. It could. It's theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically, there could be some privacy concerns, but we don't anticipate that there will be much resistance to this.
So they're envisioning a room packed with sensors to monitor participants, read your body language, watch your facial expressions, and give you scores. And there could be some privacy concerns. It's possible. Fuck privacy, right? I mean, seriously, it's 2020. Privacy. What is kids in the future will not know what privacy is. I guarantee you. They will have no clue. You'd be like, privacy? What is that? Like, what is that? It's like, when you can do things without anybody watching, where you can have a conversation without anybody eavesdropping, where you could communicate with other human beings without being watched, where you could have your own thoughts and dreams. Of course, and that reminds me, I don't know if there's anything else here. Yeah. That reminds me, of course. 2030, I own nothing. From the World Economic Forum. Right? You have no privacy. If you guys remember, on the Penguin Zoo, I tried to bring this up and they shut me down. They played a commercial when I mentioned this. They actually cut me off. And they refused to upload the video to Penguin Zoo's channel. But they cut me off while I was explaining to them. I said, on my YouTube channel, I have a video in which I talk about how the World Economic Forum and Forbes magazine are talking about the year 2030, where you own nothing, you have no privacy, your thoughts, your dreams, and everything is recorded. And they cut me off mid-sentence and did a razor commercial, ironically. But that just goes to show you. And then when I brought it up again, they you already said that. No, you can't mention that. Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say, our city. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't have any appliances or any clothes. Everything I do is collected. Everything I do is being watched. My dreams are being recorded. This is what it says in this article. And I've never been happier. This is what's happening. This slavery, enslavement of humanity. The government is the opposite of freedom. You understand that, right? I don't know how to explain freedom better. I say there's government, and the opposite of government is freedom. So when you have a full government that controls every element of society, you have zero freedom, which equals hell. That's what it is. It's hell. And that's what they're trying to manifest. And every single human being on the planet, you've got to reach people with this. You've got to reach people and tell them that this is what they're doing. Because this is the most evil plot in the history of the world. And if they succeed, God help us. Anyways, that's going to be it for tonight's show. Much love. You guys are amazing. I hope you
don't mind my theatrics and my occasional profane outburst. I can't contain it. I always come in and say, I'm going to be calm. Be calm. You know, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to bang the table. And then it all goes out the window because it's so crazy. I mean, it is. It's absolutely nuts what's going on. And I'm horrified by most of what is happening. I really am. I'm very, very concerned, extremely concerned. I hope you understand how concerned I am. And it's a lot for any of us to take in. It's a lot for any of us to try to deal with and process. And I think part of what they're doing is they're just sucking any hope out of us. They're sucking any sort of... I mean, like, we're facing the greatest tyranny in the history of humanity that will forever alter the human species. This is not like the past. Like the past, you could have regimes rise up. You know, you could have even communism or totalitarianism or fascism or whatever rise up and take over regions, and you would have this. But eventually, humans, you know, better humans would triumph, and, you know, we would rise above it throughout history, and we would do things to ensure that future generations didn't fall into those regimes again. But now we are facing the greatest tyranny in the history of the world. There's never been a bigger threat. I truly believe this is the most evil plot in the history of the world. I think the stakes are way higher than they've ever been. I think the future of humanity, what they have for us is first and foremost a massive depopulation, but I really think that they're going to take control of us physically, mentally. I think they're going to enslave those of us that they figure are worthy of serving them. I think they will program us all into a hive mind. I think we will have zero freedom. I think we will be unthinking robotic beings that serve our masters. I think that's what they want. And I think they're trying to manufacture this. And I think that they're destroying all their rights right before us. I've never seen anything like this. I'm horrified by what's going on. I'm extremely concerned. So we have to do the best that we can. We have to speak out as much as we can. We have to talk to everybody that we can, because this is so dangerous where it's going. I'm very, very concerned. So anyways, I do have a really big music video coming that's really hard for me to do. Very, very emotional. I've never had as much difficulty making a video as I've had with this video. I composed the music directly to the theme and the images that I'm going to show you in this. And so it's very emotional. And I'm hoping to have that up by tomorrow, probably Wednesday by the latest. But we have to do the best that we can. We have to be the change that we want to see. And we have to stand up at all times for all of our rights. Never ever give up your rights for anything ever again. That has to be the lesson that is learned by every single human being on the planet, that never should we ever sacrifice our rights for more security. It's the greatest trick that governments play in their power grabs. And once governments and the corporatocracy gains this power, they'll never give it back. They'll never ever stop tracking you. They'll never stop watching you or monitoring you, or, you know, they'll just become more and more invasive. They'll build the observant technology like they're doing into every device. Every device has already been built like this. All your data is being collected. It's so dangerous where it is. And yeah, we need a full-on awakening of humanity. Anyways, if you can come and support the show, please do. The Patreon link's in the description. That's the only way I get paid for all the gut-wrenching work that I do. It's very exhausting doing this. When I do a show like this, I'm mentally exhausted. Maybe not physically, but I'm mentally exhausted. And it's very hard to do this because it'd be one thing if I was just covering one element, but I'm covering so much. So I am very overloaded with emotion. You can hear it in the podcast, so it's no acting, that's for sure.
and I'm definitely very, very concerned. So thank you to everybody that supports this show. You guys are really amazing. I'm very blessed to have such wonderful people that listen to this show, such intelligent and thoughtful and caring people that are doing everything they can to try to help stop what is going on. So with that being said, I will be back with the music vid and much more, obviously. You guys are the best. Much love. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Take it easy, folks.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, and we will be, and we will be, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders. And that's why I wanted to speak to you today about the new world taking shape around us, about the prospects for a new world order, for a new world order, for a new world order now within our reach.
Time and time again about a new world order. And this is the best chance to begin to establish the new world order. And that's why the stakes are so high.
And after 1989, President Bush said, and it was a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order. We needed a new world order. We needed a new world order.
Now, much has been said by the Secretary of State and others about a new world order, about a defining moment in history. And how negative or positive it will be will depend on what kind of new world order we really create. Can it really be said that this is a true new world order when it lacks a true United Nations collective security effort?
What do you think America's place in the new world order should be?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order.
Henry Kissinger pointed out in his superb book on diplomacy. He said, "None of the most important countries which must build a new world order have had any experience with the multi-state system that is emerging. Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale.
As I've told you before, because I love it so much, they also created the Great Seal of the United States. And that Great Seal of the United States has on it Novus Order Seclorum, a new order for the centuries, for the ages, forever, 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 forever.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order, a new world order, a new world order.
The transatlantic partnership was never just the foundation of our security. It was the foundation of our way of life. It was forged an experience of the most bitter and anguished kind. Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new world order, a new world order, a new world order.
Commander told me that they were not sure they would be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.